Lee Selby defends his IBF World Featherweight title this Saturday at the Copper Box Arena in East London against a man called Eduardo Ramirez from Mexico. I've never seen Ramirez fight before. I don't really recognize many of the names on his resume. He is 24 years old. He's unbeaten. He's got a record of 20 wins, 0 losses, 3 draws with 7 KOs. I think I mentioned he's 24 years old. He's a southpaw. He stands, well, it doesn't say his height here actually. I'm looking at his box rec. I wonder if he's a similar height to Lee Selby or not. Lee Selby is quite a tall guy for the weight. I think Lee Selby is maybe around 5'8", which is, or 5'8", 5'9", which is tall for the weight for a featherweight. So yeah, looking through his resume, doesn't appear to be anything spectacular there. Those 3 draws in his record, hasn't fought anyone of note that I can see. And this will be his first world title fight, Eduardo Ramirez. So you'd have to imagine that Selby should have this in the bag, but when it comes to these Mexican fighters, some of them can be a hell of a lot tougher than you realize. I remember when Carl Frampton first fought in the United States, I think it was his first fight in the States, he fought that Mexican guy whose name escapes me, who's actually dead now. He got murdered. But that Mexican guy turned out to be a hell of a lot tougher than Carl Frampton expected. He dropped Frampton in the first round in that fight. Will Ramirez turned out to be one of those guys, one of those tough Mexicans who is unheralded and unknown, but just comes out of nowhere and actually is a very useful fighter. I guess we'll see. But yeah, so if any of you have got any information on Eduardo Ramirez, if you've seen him, tell me what you think of him. As for Selby, he's had not the greatest time of late, really. He did fight twice this year, but his profile has dropped significantly since he signed with Al Heyman, really. He made, I guess, some decent money in his first couple fights with Heyman, but he hasn't been elevated to a star in British boxing or anywhere close to it. And his former promoter now, Eddie Hearn, would say that's down to the fact that he did sign with Heyman. But then again, maybe you could blame it on Hearn too, because Hearn seemed to get a bit personal when Lee Selby and James DeGale signed with Heyman. So he didn't want to work for them the way he was before. So, you know, it's kind of like a situation where Hearn was responsible for them not being a big star in the UK. Particularly when it comes to Selby, because he didn't fight in America as much as James DeGale did. So anyway, let me know what you feel about this fight. Should Lee Selby have this in the bag? Should it be relatively plain sailing for him? Or do you think Ramirez can pose him any questions or any problems? Let me know what you feel in the comment section below. It's happening. I'm out.